Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana. And today we are back for another kit. Actually, this time it's actually going to be two kits, and I'll tell you why in just a minute, but we're going to do Sentimental Rose meets the Birthday Organizer kit. Two cool kits, fun to have. So my question to you is, how do you organize your birthday cards so that you remember to send them? I am not the greatest at that. You'd think as a demonstrator I would be, but I'm not. It's still a work in progress and I am working towards that. But I have the old calendar. Let me show it to you. I have the old one. Stampin' Up! Used to sell this kind of a birthday calendar, and then I just used all my stickers from all my Stampin' Up! Or not Stampin' Up! From my my stickers from all my scrapbooking and decorated then each month, right? So just little things. But I forget to look at this, and then I got to go hunt down cards. So that's what I really like about this idea of this birthday organizer kit. And we're going to look at that one first and then do a few things, and then I'm going to bring in the Sentimental Rose to show you that. So let's go ahead and switch here. So this is the birthday card organizer kit, and it is a non-stamping kit. So you have, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 12 cards, so 2 of each of the designs, plus you have this wonderful spiral, and then our no-fail instructions. So here it shows you the ingredients that go with each card. It shows you what goes with the spiral, and then how to put it all together. So we're going to go ahead and start with that. And we've got our tear and tape, which is nice. We've also got, what's that? Dimensionals, which I love to use. And then we have our trusty glue dots. And today you might also, again, see me using my trusty green glue. Or even sometimes, depending on if we're using some ribbon or something, I like to use my Stampin' Seal for ribbon. So then, because it's an all-inclusive kit, with this one, you don't even really need them, as far as I remember, but scissors are what you need on hand. Hi, Missy. How are you today? All right, so we have some bling that we will set aside as well. We don't have any stamps that go with this. We do have some really cute envelopes, and look, they're cute all the way down inside. So you know what that makes me want to do, right? Open up those envelopes and use them like DSP. We'll get to that. First, we're going to make at least one of each of the cards that come with this kit. So we have all our ingredients right here, and you can see I've made some cards for other lives. When I do my vendor events, I give away the cards we make, and I use a lot of these kits. So let's get this box out of the way. I'm going to keep the chipboard out of it because we may be doing some stamping. All right, so here is the folder, the spiral. You can see I already put January and February in there. I'm going to go ahead today and do the rest of them. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep this for myself or if I'm going to give this as a gift with cards already placed in it. And of course, if I give it to, say, somebody like my mom then or a close friend, then what I usually do is I put our birthdays, like my family's birthday, in there. All right, so here's this. We'll get back to this, but it's got a pocket in the back as well as in the front, and then each page is a pocket. All right, super cute, right? Super cute. All right, we will get back to this in a moment. Let's figure out which ingredients go with which. So first we want to pull out our card bases, and like yesterday, well, at least this one, you have 2 designed cards, so we could cut this in half and use both sides and extend this kit so we get even more kits. Good morning, Joanne. Nice to see you on here. You gave yours as a gift with all the family's dates filled in. Yep, see, if you're giving it to the family, you want to put the family birthdays in there and anniversaries and things, because you could also put your anniversary cards in here. Anniversary and birthday to me would be perfect for this. I don't, you wouldn't keep your thank you cards in here necessarily, but anniversaries and birthdays, this would be a perfect thing to keep your cards in. All right, but like I said, this one, you could cut it in half, and we may end up doing that because you know me, and using both sides and putting it on a card base. Now this one, you have the polka dots, and this is just plain white. So I probably, and then when you fold it, you can see just that dot. I probably would not do this one or cut it because I can do white anytime, but this one for sure. So let's see. So we have these two card bases. And now it says that we want the big rose, the two leaves, and this panel here. So we want to use this right here. Set that aside. And then these are pre-printed. So they're stickered. So you use these, and it comes again in the 4 languages, English, German, Dutch, and French for both cards. I'll set these aside and we'll use them when we need them. This is for the spiral, so I'm going to set those in the spiral. And again, they come in both languages. I use the English one just in case I give it away. If it was for me strictly, I would probably use the German one. All right, so then this triangle is going to, with the dots on it, is going over here. And this triangle is going over here. And then you have your rose on this one, the colored leaves. Now the colors in this set, some of the colors have retired. So the soft succulent and the evergreen, evening evergreen have retired. So if you had those stamp sets, or those ink pads, I'm sorry, if you had those ink pads, you could still use them with this, but you can also bring some other colors in that would work with it. And then I usually keep this, although I don't know that I'll be using any of those. And we'll set this aside because this has more still for the cards, for more cards. And then we'll start putting this one together. So we'll start with this card here. I'm actually going to start with number 2. And we're going to fold that, bring in our bone folder so we can crease that side well. And that way it stays down and stays closed. I'm going to turn this light on. All right, and then what we're going to do is use our tear and tape. So right here you have the roll, so this is tear and tape. So on the large triangle, they have it like this. They have the tear and tape here and here. Let's find the beginning of our tear and tape. Here it is. So we want it across here. This tear and tape is super easy and very strong. So you want to make sure to kind of burnish it so that the sticky stuff really sticks down. And then we have this one going this way. So this weekend you will be able to find me and Missy with her 31 over at Hustle and Heart. I'll put the link up a little bit later today. And I will be showcasing more kits this weekend, okay? So that you can see more kits before the 1st so that you can figure out what your wish list is or your shopping list is so that you can get the kits that you want to get. So then they show it. So I usually try and lay it the way they lay it so I know where I'm putting everything. And let's see. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like roses? How much do you like roses? Because this is a beautiful rose right here. That's a really pretty rose. And then the sentimental rose, well, that kind of just gives it away right there that it's a rose. You got this very pretty, haven't made the cards yet. The cards are super easy to make, Joanne, as you can see, because there's no stamping involved. They're just really quick. Now, a good thing you can use to help burnish this and make sure it's down is your bone folder instead of a fingernail. My nail tech that I used to have used to always tell me, nails are jewels, not tools. Yeah, I know. Give me the emoji face that you had on your face when I said nails are jewels, not tools. Do you treat your nails like jewels, or do you treat your nails like tools? I'm going to use my take your pick tool here because it is way easier to get these papers off with your take. Look how easy that just comes right up versus trying to get my nails up under there. So, and now if you hadn't burnished them, if I hadn't burnished them down, then I would possibly be pulling up the sticky stuff too. So that's why it's important to really rub that paper, rub on that paper and make sure it's down. All right, so now we're going to bring back our card front. And it looks like this one's going to go on first in this direction. And we're going to line it up with the side and the top like that. And then we're going to put this one going this way, also lined up with the side and the bottom. And that is such a cool card. So we're covering all those dots, so that might be something that we don't want to do in the future, or maybe cut this and use a little less. And then we have our sticker happy birthday or happiest birthday right here. And it just goes right there. And that's it for this card. This card is done. Very simple, very easy. If it's too simple for you, you can always dress it up. They do have some bling on here. And when it comes to the sequence, I tend to use either this one, or you can flip it over and use this one. When it comes to the flat sequence, I don't use the gummy end, the putty end on that. So we have a few up here, right there, and then we have a couple over here. Oop, where'd it go? Oh, it's hanging. It's hanging on there. All right, like that. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6, which means I have to put 7 because I can't do even numbers. I got to do odd numbers. So they have 3 right there, and they have a third. And I see why they did it, because they have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but that still leaves even numbers on there. So I just have to stick one more, and I'm just going to put it right there. All right, so there is our very simple card. Perfect. And it goes in one of these cute envelopes, and I like to look and see which envelopes they match with the cards. So this one is matched with the green gingham, the soft succulent gingham. So we're going to do this. And so there's no stamping inside because there's no stamps. All right, so we'll do that like that. So that's how that one was designed. I'm going to set that aside, and then we're going to go ahead and do our next card, which is this one, and this is the front of the card, this is the back of the card. So to me that's almost wasted. So we're going to have to make one of our alternates with it, right? With this as a front of the card because it's too pretty not to. All right, so then what we're going to do is take our tear and tape and run it all the way across here. And this is where I would normally use my Stamp and Seal. And we want to burnish that really good so that it doesn't come up. Whoop, see, and now I need this one. So it's so nice that we can flip it over. And then it has to just catch the groove. All right, look at that. Right up and off. All right, so this gets lined up right about the middle. Looks like it's, yeah, right about the middle. Across there, super pretty. And then what we're doing is, on this one, we are doing dimensionals. So the dimensionals, let me show you here. The dimensionals are the hexagons, and the black dots are the glue dots. So we're going to turn all these over just like they have them. Come on. All right. So we're going to use some glue dots and put 3 of them on here. And you're thinking, wow, that's a pretty big piece for only 3. Glue dots hold well. All right, everybody give me a thumbs up for the glue dots. All right, so Missy, sunflowers and daisies are your favorites? Yes, I know you love the sunflowers. I didn't realize you like the daisies. Did you get the daisy stamp set? That is August. I got to get that email out. I've got those cards done. I know, don't fall off your chairs. The cards for August Card Club are already done. I finished them over the weekend. I was on a roll. So I got to get that email out. I have a number of emails I need to get out to you all. So if you're not on my email list and you don't get my emails, but you want them, then go ahead and email me at the address above on Facebook or down below on YouTube, and make sure you tell me that you want to be added to the email list. And that way I can get you on there, and then you don't miss out on any of the news and information that's going out. This one only has 4, but I'm going to go ahead and put another one right there. And actually I'm going to put one in the center too, so it doesn't sag, because it's kind of a big piece. All right, so I'm going to guess, they don't tell you what order, but typically you go with the largest one, and then you'll be tucking some of the other things under it. So you'll want to go with the largest one, and we're going off this way like this, and then we want to pop these off like that, and this one here like that. And it's going to be, ooh, I did it a little too far over this way. Did I stick it down? Oh, I didn't stick it all the way down. That's another thing, is you don't want to like push it down until you know you've got it in the right place. There we go. So I'm just setting it down, and this one too, just kind of setting it down. And then we want to pop these off. So you don't want to push them down until you know you've got them all in the right place. That's a lesson I have to learn repeatedly. It's not quite a habit as much as it should be. All right. And then get the papers off of this one. All right, am I zoomed in enough for you, or should I be zoomed in a little bit more? It seems like it's a little far away, doesn't it? Let's see. There we go. All right, and then this one goes up over here. All right, so that looks about right. So now we can press them down to make sure they stay and hold. All right, you want to press them down because that way you are making that stick. All right. There we go. And now we're going to come in here with our It's Your Day. And it goes, they've got it showing on top of this, but it's a sticker, so you're actually going to want to stick it underneath that, because otherwise it's going to be going down at an angle. All right, that light really just washes things out. So there is your card. So see how this is lifted? If you put that sticker on top of it, it'll be going down at an angle, so it looks better like that. So that is card 2, and it goes in the Sahara Sand one. So Sahara Sand, Soft Succulent, and Evening Evergreen are all colors that retired, but they are in this kit. But since it doesn't require ink, well, if it did require ink, you would have it anyways. But if you have those colors and wanted to continue that whole theme, you could. So here are our 2 cards that go with the kit. All right, I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to bring back the spiral, and we'll put this away. All right, and we'll set these aside. And we'll come back in here, and so we have January and then February, and I'm going to set these other languages aside. March, And they just go right there across the top. I mean, you could do it on the side if you wanted. You could do it however you wanted to do it. I'm just going to do mine across the top, kind of making them parallel with the top right here and somewhere around the center. June, best month of the year. Because, yep, it's my birthday month. July, which we are already in. Can you believe it's already the end of July? Didn't it just start? I swear it just started. July just started. It's going by too fast. Then August is coming, and then August 10th we take off to take our son cross country. Well, halfway across country. And then October, Ohio, near Kathy Sullenberger. She's like going to be 15 minutes from my son. And December. So go Yellow Jackets. All right. So there we go. There we go. So that is done. So then what you do is you can store. So I like to store my cards with the bottom part in the envelope and then fold this over, and then I would just stick it in here. And I might put, you know, I'll put people's names on here, and then if I know who I want the card to go to, then usually I'll just either put a sticky note on here with their name, or I'll just go ahead and write their name, or even address the whole thing so that it's ready to send. All right, and then this one I might want, this is kind of a masculine-ish card. I think this would be perfect for a masculine card for a guy. And so then we put it in there, and then you have your card kit. All right, now what I like to do, and I was looking to see what we had, we have some of this. We have some of this and this. We used to have some petal pink. Let me see if it's close at hand. Yeah. We had some petal pink, so that would, if you have this old petal pink. And so what I sometimes like to do to kind of just spruce it up a little bit is I like to cut it and tie some knots on there. So I'm just going to do it like that. Oh, I guess I'm blown up. I'm zoomed in too much. All right, so hi, Covina, nice to have you here. So then what you can do is you can just tie, this is what I usually do on any of my spiral notebooks that are for scrapbooking, and just tie a little bow. And then you could come over here and you could use this one and maybe skip, or do them all on the same one, or you could do them all in the center, wherever you want, however you want. But this would just be a nice little way to dress it up a little bit. And because you're just tying it in a simple knot, oh, come on. Is that gonna go through? There we go. Because you're just tying it in a simple knot, if you pull it tight, it works. And then it won't be really in your way, because it will move with your book. Okay, with your page. So when you're opening it, it'll be there and it'll be available. And so then you could also use this one. This is what's current. So I'm just looking at some of the current ones we have as well. So this petal pink one is no longer available. You can check the clearance rack and see if it's in there. And then this one I would do in a double knot just because of what it is. And so then you can dress up the side of this however you want. We had some ribbon that goes with both of these. I don't, well, that's over there in the basket where I found this petal pink one. That's just happened to be the first one. So, but the tan colored ones go as well. And if you recall, we also had this color on here, so on the cards, so that would still match. This actually looks a lot like it because it's got that white stitching on the side. So this one, where is it? This one is called, ooh, This one comes as a dual package with red ribbon. This one comes as a dual package with red ribbon, but it totally looks like that, right? Except just a little bit darker. Super fun. So you could just tie a few of these. You don't have to do it all the way down. You could just do a little bit up at the top. This one has a little bit of silver in it. This one is called the threaded twine, and it's got the silver in it to give it a little bit of sparkle. And then of course we have this one, but it's kind of, I don't think that one works as well. And then we have the white organdy, let's see, glittered organdy ribbon. You could use that one too to kind of make it special as a gift. So just some different options and ideas of things you can do for this kit to add to it if you wanted to kind of dress it up. Let me move this stuff out of the way. All right, so that's that. Now, let's talk about some of these extras. We have lots of extras in here. Well, we have lots of kit pieces still left over. But this is the Sentimental Rose kit, all right? And it makes 6 cards, plus it has, no, 9 cards, plus it has a little acetate box. So let me just show you. So this is the little acetate box that this makes, and you can see I've already done this whole kit, but I have some leftover twine that I can use with the birthday kit. I've got this Calypso coral that I could use with the birthday kit. I've got some extra cards that I didn't put in this. Oh, I guess I have one extra card that I haven't yet made. There's 1 card left, and then I have some extra pieces. So what you can do, and this is Thinking of You, this has Happy Mother's Day, and then it also has the For You. It's got this gorgeous, gorgeous rose stamp. It says Best Wishes, so that totally a birthday, happy birthday, thank you, congratulations, for you, and then some little dots there. So let me just show you these cards, because they're super pretty, and then we can put together that one last card that I have. And so you can keep these cards, of course, if you wanted, you can give them away as a gift, which is what that's intended for. Or if you want, you can put some in the card organizer. So here's your congratulations, and I've already, of course, got them in the envelopes. And then a thank you. And then this was one of the alternates that I did with the stamp set. All right, and here's another alternate with the stamp set, just using a note card. So that's another thing you can do when you have a stamping set. You can get some note cards, and you can use that to extend the kit. And here was another one. I love this rose. Isn't this gorgeous? Comment gorgeous if you love this rose. I just think it is so amazing. And so then there was some extra stuff, and I just kept making cards, and here's one of the ones as designed. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna set these aside. Let's go ahead and make this card as designed, and it is, what do we have here? It is the card number 1. So let's see. Oh, do I have everything for it? Oh, I do. All right, so here we go. So card number 1, it has a stamping, and it is in basic gray, I think is the stamp set, is the ink pad. Yeah, it's basic black, Calypso coral, flirty flamingo, gray granite, mint macaron, and so saffron. So it's gray granite, not basic gray. So gray granite is our color for the ink, which you really wouldn't think that they would do a rose in gray granite, but it really looks amazing. So we're going to drop that down there. We're going to grab one of our ink blocks, one of our blocks. We're going to just tap this on there, and we need, there we go, we need our chipboard. Woo! Here we go, running out of room. I'm crowded over here. All right, so we're going to stamp it, and they've got it partially off. So not the whole thing is on there. They've got it partially off. So we're just going to stamp it right here like that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I just love that rose. It is one of, not where it is set, it is one of my all-time favorite stamp sets. This originally had come out as a paper pumpkin. So I've been using it for quite a while, and then when they started the kit collection, they turned it into a kit because it was a very popular one. It's so beautiful. It's just so, so beautiful. All right, let me put that over there. Move this out of the way. Move this. Oh, I need my, thank you. I think I'd already stamped it. Yep, I'd already stamped it. All right, and then, where do we have everything? Where'd all my pieces go? All right, I guess I must have used up, I thought we had all the pieces to this one, but I guess not. That's okay, I've got this one. So what they've got is they've got it as a banner cut, but I'm just going to go ahead and change it up with this one, which is too big. So we will banner cut it. So I'm going to go from here to here and do a banner cut. When I do it myself, it's a lot sharper than when I use the punch, but that's okay. No, it's still too long. So now I'll try and go not quite so sharp in there. The steeper in you go, see, that was better. The steeper in you go, the sharper your point tends to be. So we're going to do this. It's going to go right here. I'm going to go ahead and use my green glue. All right. And that's going to go right here, which I hate covering that rose. And then that's going to go here. So it's going to go on the bottom half. So I'm just going to put glue on the bottom half of it, like that. All right, and then we're going to flip this over. They're calling for glue dots. This is where I'm going to continue with my glue and just run a little bit of glue here, 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 and here. And then we're going to put that right side up onto this card all the way over to the far left, like that. All right, and then what they've done is they've taken, well, I've already got it cut. They've taken some of the baker's twine, white baker's twine, and they're wrapping it through the inside of the card up along this line. All right, and then tying a knot, tying a bow up here towards the top. Now, what I'm going to use to make that bow tying easier is I'm going to grab one of the glue dots from that other kit, because I don't have them in this kit anymore. And the trick is to put the dot where you want your bow to be. Let me zoom in. So I want my bow to be right here. So I'm going to put my glue dot there, and then I'm going to press my knot right into that, and that way it holds. It's no longer moving. All right, and so they want it along that line, and then tie a little bow. And of course you can make it a bigger bow and then just trim it off if you want. I already had this piece cut, so that's why I'm using it. And then there we have our little bow. Cut that off, and there is our card. Finished. Finished. So they did have some green. They did have some of these in green. I don't have any green ones left, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Calypso Coral ones. And they had one of the All right, here we go. One of the big ones over here because of the Calypso corals in here, so it totally works. And then they had a smaller one up here. Then they have a smaller one down there. So super cute, right? I love that rose. Absolutely love that rose. So much so that we're going to have Sentimental Rose cross over with our other one. All right, so we have a few gems left over. We have gems from the other card kit. And now we're going to use this awesome rose with our birthday cards. So let's go ahead and bring these back. So we're going to do this one. And you're thinking, okay, June, but I don't have stamps. That's okay. If you have that card, if you have the Sentimental Rose, you've got some other sentiments if you don't want to use the stickers, but we still have stickers that we can use. So I'm thinking with this one, we're going to have to bring in, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. We're going to have to bring in the trimmer. And let's go ahead and, because these don't have to follow any color pattern, your cards are not going to match your organizer forever and ever. That's just not a realistic thing. You're going to run out of cards. So we're going to do this, we learned, at 4 inches by 5¼ inches. And I'm going to take it off this side because there's more pattern over here. And then we're going to cut this one at 4 inches. Remember, we're basically cutting off our score line where we would have folded it. Okay, you could keep it and use it. I've got enough scraps, I'm not going to. And then I'm going to take it off of that side as well, like that. Okay, and we'll keep that piece. All right, so for this one, I'm going to bring in, let's see, I have the black, which I think will make it pop. I don't think, oh, what do you think? Does that work? Does that work? Does the petal pink work? Or do we like the black better? Do we like it better on the black or the petal pink? I kind of like that one on the petal pink. Or do we want the polka dots on the petal pink or on the black? I think I like this. Surprisingly, I know y'all know petal pink is not my absolute favorite one. So which one do you think we should do? Should we do the black background for both or just for the one? I don't like this as much as I like this. Or, I don't know, maybe, oh, I know what we can do. We could do, there we go. We could do this. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do both. All right. You like the pink, Joanne? Yeah. You know what though? I think we're going to do this. Put it on the black, and then put it on the pink. Better? Yeah? I think so. I think so. So we need to, well, we don't need to score it because what we can do is just fold this in half. It's 4¼ by 11. And then we're going to crease that. I prefer to score it versus folding it like this. Sometimes it's not as pretty when you do it that way, but I think we're going to do it like this. So we need to trim this one up just a little bit. So it needs to be 5 3/8, so it's just a little bit long, by 4 1/8. All right, so it was a full 4¼ by 5. All right, so we're going to do that. But before we do that, there we go. Doesn't that look great? I love that. All right, but before we do that, we're going to emboss this because I did bring my embossing folders. over here, and I was trying to decide if we wanted to emboss it with the basket weave or with this one. Do we want to go full on basket weave, or do we want to go with the more subtle look? I think we want to go with the basket weave. What do you think? Basket weave or this subtle crisscrossing? I'm thinking the basket weave, don't you think? Which one? I'm waiting for your sign. You're kind of helping me through this one. All right, which one do you think? The basket weave or the subtle? All right. Let's see. Joanne says the subtle. You think the subtle would be better? All right, you know what? We'll use the basket weave on this one. That's what I'm gonna do. I really want to use the basket weave. So we're gonna put the basket weave on this one. So, all right, let's see. I think this is going to look really awesome. All right, so we're going to do this subtle one. I don't even know what to call this. I just called it the crisscross. And we'll use it on this one because it's very subtle. It gives you a very light, but it's not an in-your-face 3D. Even though it's considered a 3D, as thick as it is, the pattern that it gives is not an in-your-face. Missy liked the subtle idea too. Call it mesh. Okay, yeah, it could be a mesh. I could see that. So there we go. That's that one. All right. And then we're going to do the basket weave one on this one, because I like the basket weave one. But it's in your face. It's in your face, but I think it'll work just fine with that one. It doesn't have as much pattern on it, or as much pattern already on it, so I think it'll be perfectly fine for that. Let's get this stuff out of the way before I reveal it. And there you go. Yeah, that one worked good. That worked good. I like that. I like it. I like it. And then I had thought about, for the polka dots, if I decide to cut it or even not, whether or not to use the bubble wrap one. But it's not a random polka dot, so I think it would look kind of funny. Think about that. Let me know what you think on that one. So let's get back to this card. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down. Going to go ahead and glue that onto here, and that little bit of black just really helps it pop. It's just a little bit. It's just that 1/8 of an inch really helps it pop. But then on here, it really pops. So is that 4 1/4? That almost looks a little wider. Yep, that's a little wider than 4 1/4. I was thinking so. So let's trim that down to 4 1/4 because my sides are wider than my top and bottom. There we go. That was an 1/8 over. All right, so now before we put this on though, I want to go ahead and use some of this baker's twine from the Sentimental Rose. All right, so I want to go ahead and do this over here. And I'm going to want to tie it in a bow. You know what, before we'll go ahead and do that, but remind me not to stick it down yet until we figure out the front of the card. So I'm going to do this and then tie a bow over here off to the side. But we still got to figure out the front of the card before we can do this. And so what I like about combining your two kits, so you have a non-stamping kit, combine it with a stamping kit, and you can go so much further. Oops, wrong one. All right, I don't know yet if that's, you know what, we're going to take that off because I'm not 100% sure that's what we're going to want. So now what we want to do is we want to bring in, I'm going to bring in some white cardstock. You know what, we're going to be cutting this one off. So I'm going to use this white cardstock because it's the same white as in the kit. So we're going to cut this one to the 4 inches, because the white, the basic white that we sell, you can see this is the basic white and this is the white from the kit. Can you see there's a difference? This is a darker grayish white and this is a brighter white. So I don't really want to mix those two. So since I know I'm cutting these off, I can use this for my flower. And then we're going to put this at 5 1/4. And there we have that ready to go. All right, and then you're thinking about if we want to line up the dots. The subtle on that one, which has more design. Yes, that's what we did. We put the subtle on this one that has the more design, and then we did the basket weave on this one that just had a little bit of the color. And then what we're trying to decide is whether to use the bubble wrap, which is what people are calling this, on this dot one, or use something else, or nothing at all. I mean, at the bare minimum, we could use our painted textures, our favorite, one of our favorites. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to stamp this flower, but I need to clean it off because I don't want it in the gray. Where's my cleaner? Here it is. I want it in the petal pink. I know, don't fall out of your chairs because I said that. Petal pink has not been my favorite color, but for some things it's just really pretty. And for this rose, I think it's going to be gorgeous. All right. I'm trying to figure out where to put this so I don't lose it. Let's bring in our petal pink. And we're going to, I'm going to go ahead and do 2 of them. Well, 3 of them. Can I get 3 on here? 1. 2. Because I wanted to make 3 cards. So let's see if I can get 3. Ooh. I think just. Ooh, just. All right, so we have our 3 roses for our 3 cards. Now, one of the issues we have is the fact that we don't have the, you can't get, so if you don't already have the soft succulent color for the leaves, you can't get it. But I had an idea for that. Of going with, I was trying to decide whether to stamp the leaves on here, but I think what we'll do is we'll go with the gray, no, we're gonna go, oh, Sahara sand is already gone. We're gonna go with gray granite leaves, I think. What do you think, gray granite leaves? If I don't do them too terribly dark. Let's see. I want to see if I can get at least 3 on here, so I should be able to in each corner. All right, so we'll just do 1 of each of those. I think that's going to work just fine because it's kind of a greenish gray to me. All right, so then we need to do a little bit of fussy cutting because this doesn't come with dies. So I like to cut things out smaller to make it a little bit easier to cut. And so then carefully cut through here and then carefully cut through there, because remember I like to leave a little bit of a white. Woo! All right, and then girls, I need my glasses for fussy cutting. It just works a little bit better. So we're going to come over here, go around, and remember we're steering with our left hand if your scissors are in the right hand. If your scissors are in your left hand, then you're going to be steering with your right hand. So you want the paper to be steering things, and you have just a little bit of a white border. Not super huge. All right, just a little bit of a white border, just so that you know what it is you've got going on there, and that's a little bit wavy. So tell me what your plans are for this upcoming weekend while I fussy cut, because I did not prep this. I had my doctor's appointment this morning for the results of blood work from last week, and guess what? Ron is stuck with me for a good long time because I am healthy. So I mean, I did discover that I have Raynaud's, but it's not something I don't need medication for it, except when I go snowmobiling. Then I'll take some medication to help stave off the pain in my fingers and toes from getting cold. But other than that, I am super duper healthy. Like, he was very happy with all my numbers and everything. So maybe not the bubble. Yeah, I was trying to decide about the bubble wrap. I'm thinking the bubble wrap one just wouldn't really look quite right because those bubbles are all lined up and the bubbles on the card are all random, or the dots on the card are all random. So yeah, I'm leaning away from that. I might just use our trusty painted textures, right? So here we go. Here we go. So over here. So if you are watching on YouTube, please help me out and hit the subscribe button and the little bell and give me a thumbs up. If you are watching on Facebook, go ahead and make sure you like and follow my page and check your notifications so you can make sure to see when I am on. And if you want to share either off of Facebook or off of Facebook or YouTube, there we go, then feel free to do that. That helps me, and I greatly appreciate that. I am working to build that YouTube channel up, so I appreciate any help with that you are willing to give. All right, and again, you'll be able to find me doing more kits this weekend in Hustle and Heart shopping events. So if you are not already a member over there, then you can just type in Hustle and Heart shopping events, or you can also wait until I post the link later of where I'll be. And then you can come see more kit stuff. It's going to be all about kits this weekend. So, and the tools to help you with those kits to just make the experience that much better. And then of course, things like this. And then what I also do is I give away all the cards that I make during my lives to the winner, and you get into the drawing by commenting, and every 5 comments that you make becomes an entry. And then if I ask questions and you do screenshots of your answer from my online store, then you get an automatic entry. So, and I always give a link so that you can easily find it. So, and remember, if any of these kits are tickling your fancy, August 1st, so that's next Tuesday. Yeah, next Tuesday, the kit sale starts. So you can make your wish list. I think you can even make it, correct me if I'm wrong, Joanne and Missy, can you correct or can you create a wish list in the online store? I think you can. I think you can. When I started, they didn't have that. I was still ordering from a person, so I'm not quite as familiar. I guess I probably should familiarize myself with it. Thank you, Joanne. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was pretty happy Part of me was tempted to walk in and say, okay, give me the good news and the better news, no bad news allowed. And then I was like, you know, June, you really have no complaints. You have nothing that you were, going to him. It was just my annual appointment because I missed it last year. So biannual, not biannual, every other. Biannual? Does biannual mean every 2 years? But anyways, I missed going last year, so he did a lot of blood work this year. And apparently at one time in my life I did have mono because I have the EBV virus showed up. So now I know to work on eradicating that. And if you want to know how to do that, you can check out Anthony William. That's why I drink my celery juice every day. Yeah, he said my liver was super healthy, and I told him, I said, well, I chalk that up to that celery juice that I drink every day. And he said, well, good. So anyways, I'm very upfront with my doctors in letting them know that 'tis my body and I've been in it all these years, so I expect them to listen to me. All right, so we got one more flower to go after this. It's going fairly quick. So you can see that there's not always a line, so I'm just going and following an imaginary line because of the way the artist did the flower. So you don't have to necessarily go exactly, and you can see I just have a very little white border, sometimes a little thicker than I want, but that's just cutting skills, trying to talk and fussy cut, because normally if I'm in a class and we're fussy cutting, it's practically silent. So tell me, do you talk when you are fussy cutting? Can you talk when you are fussy cutting? I do have some people who they cannot talk and fussy cut at the same time, which is understandable. I probably had to learn how also. It may be that when I was first doing lives and fussy cutting that I was silent, but I'm on a live. I can't be silent, right, girls? You don't want me silent. You're not watching me to be silent. So, almost done with this one. And then we'll, oh, that's a nice, easy side. Here we go. So, that's what you can do if you don't have white paper. Of course, if you don't have white paper or you don't have other cardstock, then just make the cards as they were designed, because they are beautiful as designed. You don't have to do alternates. You don't have to change things up. But if you're like, man, I just don't want the same cards, or I don't have a whole lot of people that I send them to, so I don't want to accidentally send the same person the same 1, 2, 3 years in a row. So, well, then, yeah, you might want to invest in a little bit of cardstock. And black is a really good color because you can put pretty much anything with it. And then, of course, if you are using kits, you will get a multitude of ink colors. So then you just use the ink colors that you have from your kits. All right. But if you wanted to be able to turn some of these kits or some of these cards, or some of the cards even from the Boho Beach one yesterday, if you wanted to be able to cut those apart and make more cards, you would be safe buying a package of black cardstock. All right, and you'd have plenty in there. I think there's like 40 sheets in there, and so you cut the cardstock in half, so you can get 80 cards out of that. So you can extend pretty much any kit with just a package of black cardstock. And then you might consider getting a package of just the basic white regular cardstock for doing something like this, where you're stamping and cutting things out. So as far as, buying too much materials, keep it simple. Use what's in your kits, and then ask me questions if you have questions. If you're not sure, what could you do with this, or what could you do with that, or what do you need to do this, what do you need to do that? I'm always available, or at least we'll get back to you as soon as I can if for some reason I'm like in an appointment or sleeping, those kinds of things. All right, so that went pretty well. All right, so we have 3 flowers, so we'll put those over here, those over there, and then we have this one. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this. Let's see. I'm just looking if I want to do that or just keep it simple with the twine that I cut. I think we'll keep it simple, this one, with the twine that we cut. So I think I'm going to do a bigger piece. I'm going to wrap it around twice. So here we go. Wrap it 1, 2, and then come back over here. Oh, it's not long enough for that. So we're just doing it twice. That's how it goes. All right, so there we go. And I'm going to do this and tie my bow right here. And I'm thinking I'm going to leave it kind of long. The tail's kind of long. There we go. All right, well, one is long. I guess I didn't do that very even. Let's see, are we doing it this way? How's it going? I'm trying to figure out how it's laying naturally. There we go. So we'll come in here, cut that off. And then we're going to put those on dimensionals. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm leaving this space so that I can put on each side of the line, like that. And then we'll put dimensional. I'm going to use the mini because this is smaller. So we have our mini dimensionals, and you get a lot of these in your kits. I think just one actually will be fine. And then we're just going to stick that right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the It's Your Day right there. All right. And then we will take this and we will put it on our card base. All right. And here you have another card. So when the birthday card kit meets Sentimental Rose, this is what you get. All right. We did bring in a few extras, but you don't have to. You could totally leave this unembossed because it already has great texture to it from the design. All right, and then on the inside, we will grab one of these, stamp our flower again, except this time I'm going to stamp it coming off the edge. All right, and then we'll put this on the inside. And when you're doing it on the card for the inside, you just want your glue around the outside. Otherwise, when you write, you will feel the bumps of the glue. It leaves a bit of a bump if it's not all smoothed out. So just so you know. And it probably doesn't matter. It bothered me when I discovered it, but it's not a super big deal. All right, so there is one card. And then I'm going to stick it in, because it's got that gingham, I'm going to stick it in this envelope. All right, so there's one. We're going to put this one on the black. Move all my stuff out of the way. We're going to put the other two on the black, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut them this way at 5.5. then I should have scored it first before I cut it, but that's okay. We're going to just do it this way. I know a lot of demonstrators who don't score it. They just fold it in half and crease it like that. So we'll just fold it in half. Make sure your corners meet up. All right, so the next one, I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. Or do I want it this way? I think I want it this way. All right, and I'm going to use a little bit of the linen thread that I have. It's not from this kit, but other kits do have it. Okay, so if you're thinking, oh, June, you keep using stuff that I don't have, get the kits. There's always extras. There's always extras. Or the linen thread, I think, is maybe $7, and it comes a lot thicker. This one's been well used. But the linen thread, and it goes with everything. It really does. Linen thread goes with everything. So we're going to go ahead and tie this. All right, let's see if I can get this. All right, I'm going to, all right, I want to tie it on the right side this time, so I'm going to wrap it around this way and tie it. Is it even? No. Just trying to get it even so I can make a longer bows. All right. The edges are a little rough because of the embossing folder, so that's why it looks like I'm struggling, because I am, because they're a little rough. So, but this time I don't want all my cards to seem the same. So I'm putting it on the other side. So just kind of reversing it, but essentially doing about the same thing. And that's the beauty with this, is you can do almost the same thing, but if you change the sides or change whether it's landscape or portrait, it changes the whole look and you don't even realize you've done the same thing. There we go. Finally caught it. All right, so let's get this a little bit more to the right. There we go. And a little bit higher. So these edges, see how tough it is on the back? These edges are just going. You have so many kits and paper pumpkins, you have yet to buy any linen thread. Right, because you have all the leftover from the kits and the paper pumpkins, right? I use so much of it that I do buy it, because it's one of my go-to ones. All right, come on. There we go. Why is this not cooperating? All right, so then I want to put it down here. It really pops on that black, doesn't it? That's what I'm saying. You could get just a package of black cardstock and be perfectly happy. Sorry, I need my light. I can't see. You could be perfectly happy with the black cardstock for any extension of your kits. It will go with everything. You can't go wrong with black. If you buy a color, then you're always limited. But if you buy black, you're not limited. It's unlimited because it will make anything pop. All right, so I want to just push this down because it is 3D embossed. Oh, there we go. All right, this thing, it's all twirly whirly, going in every which way. Every which way but loose. Do you remember that movie? Comment Clint if you remember that movie. I can't remember the name of the orangutan. What was the name of the orangutan? Every Which Way But Loose. That was a funny movie. All right, so again, we're going to use our dimensionals. And stick that on each side of the linen thread. My husband still talks about that movie, and he saw it when he was a kid. He loves that movie. I remember it. I remember laughing. I was a kid. I don't know that I would have talked about it all that much, but he still is very much in love with that movie. See, so that gray granite goes really well for the leaves. It doesn't even really look bad. And then you could use your other sentiment piece, or I had a sentiment piece left. I thought, oh, here we go. I have this sentiment piece, so I could put it on there, could untie that, and then use one of these that said, let's see, does Best Wishes fit? Nope, Best Wishes doesn't fit. I guess For You fits. You could do For You, and then on the inside do the happy birthday. So let's do that. All right, so we'll do that. And we're going to use the basic, or the gray granite for that. Or you could use black if you wanted as well. Guess I should turn that around so I stamp it correctly. And then while I'm here and I have it open, I'm going to bring in this one and stamp the happy birthday. I'm going to do a happy birthday, and then we also have a best wishes on there. So I'll do the best wishes, because that's what you usually say, right? Happy birthday, best wishes. And then we want, of course, our rose in our petal pink. Like that. Clyde, that's right, Clyde. Clyde. And I know, Joanne, you're saying Clint, because Clint Eastwood was in the movie. Yeah, Clyde. That was too funny. That was a funny movie. Some of those movies from our childhood, my husband wants Kitar to watch. And some of them, Kitar's like, okay. And other times he's like, it's kind of slow. Oh! Look what I did. I did it the wrong way. All right, I guess this one is going to go this way so that it's not a waste. Oh my gosh. Now, is that the first time I've ever done that? Heck no. All right, so we need to go this way. So let's bring back. Are you laughing at me? Go ahead and laugh at me, because I know. You might have even been hollering at me, except I'm not seeing any texts, any comments up there saying, wrong way, because you probably didn't think of it either. So, but that's okay. We got this. Happy birthday. Best wishes. All right, and because I got it going on this way, do I have, oh, I don't even have the pen for that. I was going to do the dot, 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 but I could just do that in black. So, dot, dot, dot. All right. There we go. Now let's put that inside our card, and then we'll put the For You on the outside. And then if you wanted, you could turn it into a gift card holder, or you can just have it as is. All right, you can see I don't use a whole lot of glue on there. All right, it doesn't need a lot of glue. You do not have to create a lake on your card of glue. You don't even have to do a river, just a little stream of glue. And that's what makes the green glue work. All right, so now we're going to untie this bow that took me a while to do. All right, and then we're going to stick this in here like this. And then So now do that. And then I think I'm going to tie it in a knot again before I tie a bow so that thing's not running around all over the place. My mail lady's here. All right. And then we have this is going all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to put a little glue dot under there to make it stay in place. You should see my counter here. It is a mess with all these little scraps. All right, so I'm just going to pop this paper off, and I'm going to put that like that so that it's not jumping all over the place. There we go. And there is your second card. All right. Nice, nice. I'm happy with it. And this one I am also going to stick in the gingham one. Actually, let's see how that, does that work? That works, you know what, because of the linen thread and the granite, gray granite, that works. So we're gonna do that. And then we have our last one with our polka dots. And I think we're just going to run this. Actually, we're not gonna run it through anything. So I can show you that you don't have to run it through anything to still have it turn out great. So we're going to go ahead and glue that one down, because it pops on that black. It really pops. All right, and then for this one, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just this little corner to give it a little more color to go with our sentimental rose, because there's no reason you can't use these pieces. Or do we want to do, no, I think I'm just going to do the green over here. Do I want it over here? I think I want it up there. We're going to do the green up there, but I'm going to go ahead and use my glue instead of the tear and tape. Just around the edges. Try and grab it so that I don't, and then we're just going to put it along here. There we go, like that, just to give it a little more color. And then we have our rose, which I'm going to again use these because they came with the birthday kit anyway, so why not use them? All right, so I'm just going to touch that right there, and then let's see, does this one fit? No, it's too big. That's what I was thinking, that it was too big. Where'd my minis go? Here they are. All right. Here we go. I'm going to stick that. Where do we want our leaf? I think we're going to put our leaf right here. And then I'm going to use the happiest birthdays one and just put it under here a little bit like that. So then you took that from a somewhat masculine card to a more feminine card, and I just realized we forgot to do some bling. We have some bling. So I'm not going to use this because it's the Calypso Coral. That's too in your face. If I had used the Calypso Coral for any of these flowers, then we totally could have. So if you had Calypso Coral from one of your other kits, which I can't remember which one now does it, but one of them does have the Calypso Coral. So we're going to go ahead and use our take your pick tool to put some bling on here. So I'm going to do one over here, one right there, one right there, and we'll do another one over here, over there, up here. And I usually do it in 3s. Sometimes I do 5, but 7 is a lot. I don't typically do 7. All right. So there is card 1 alternate. There's card 2 alternate. And there's card 3 alternate. So I could keep going. My brain, my juices, my creative juices are flowing with this, but this is the perfect combination. You get the birthday kit organizer kit, you get the sentimental rose kit, and you can continue making a whole bunch of cards just by taking these, here we go, cutting these apart, get some black, not construction paper, good golly, no. Get some black cardstock and you've got your set. You can make that many more cards. You can use, wrong one. You can use this white for stamping on and cutting out, or if you don't like the polka dots, you could use all of this side for stamping the rows and cutting them out, and you can extend this into 2 more cards. So a great way to do it. There's lots of stickers left, and then of course with the stamp set, you have all these other sentiments. You have Mother's Day, thinking of you, congratulations, birthday, thank you, and best wishes. So lots of general sentiments that you can use for any cards, and just keep making cards with this beautiful sentimental rose, right? All right, so Missy says she has a little dish she puts all of her dimensionals and glue dot trash in. That's a good idea. Mine's all over the place. I'll pick out all the big stuff up and then I wipe it off. The vertical would have worked in this card. The vertical for this card could have been vertical. It could have gone either way, whichever you wanted. And all of them, they could have gone either way. They go whichever way you want them to go. So, all right. And yeah, so Missy had said that she hasn't even had to buy linen thread because there's always extras. You get a roll about this tall versus the regular size, so a little bit shorter. And a lot comes on it, and you can do a lot with it. You don't always have to wrap everything around. Sometimes you can just tie bows, and that's enough. So lots to do, lots to play with, lots to think about. You know, what kits do you want, and how can you mix and match those kits together? So today was my first day of mixing 2 kits together. I don't think I've ever mixed 2 kits together. I think this was my first time ever, but they just screamed at me because of the roses on that birthday card spiral. This rose made me kind of think of the sentimental rose, and I thought, wow, since this is a non-stamping kit, you could totally extend this kit by just getting another kit and mixing them together. All right, so when you get your kits, you get more inks, you get more blocks, you get more stamps, and then you can use those with your non-stamping kits to extend them if you want. Thank you for joining me, Missy and Covina and Joanne. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you next time, probably later today. That one's kind of become an iffy based on some appointments that I have, but I will, of course, let you know before it happens. So have a great rest of your Thursday. I may see you back here this afternoon, otherwise tomorrow for sure. See you then. Bye-bye.